Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Angru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we promised you more coverage of the SD44 Terrible Divisions tournament, and we will deliver. We are back on that old friend Columba Les, seeing actually a couple of old friends as well. Rang, who's fighting? What have they got?
On left hand side in blue, we have the classic, the Hairy Spider, playing as 15th Scotch, and right hand side in red, we have Grey Fox, playing as 352nd.
No, it's kind of nice that we have the battle of the crafty animals going on here. The hairy spider in his web of, deceit and trickery, and the gray fox, a little bit of cunning.
We'll have to see which one will take the victory, but we've got two slow and steady and rather classic infantry divisions, so this would be quite a bit of a slog.
Well, exactly. And the funny thing, too, is you look at a lot of the material that's going to go on here. 352nd, on the face of it, I could not find another division that I think I hate more from the Germans back on the release.
716th?
I'm sorry. What's that?
716?
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I hate the 352nd about half as much as I hate the 716th.
Yeah, both divisions, I mean, they require a special type of playstyle to make them work, but I don't know, I just find most German divisions where you have to use grenadiers instead of their panzer counterparts not that great, but we have to see how it go here for Grey Fox. Just looking how the start is, Harry Spider definitely going for much more of an aggressive push down south with his rifle. Oh, really just like Bren groups and that one Churchill Mark 5.
Oh my gosh, Brent groups, I forgot about these guys. Oh my gosh.
Probably for the better.
I was going to say. So I know we flashed the groups up over here, so you made the comment that it needs a special type of player. What kind of player or play style picks up the 15th Scots or 52nd, or by loose extension, 716th, and says, ah yes, this is my division, these are my people?
I know, for 352nd, it's kind of like how you play Canadians or Scots in a way where the infantry themselves are alright, yeah, a little bit better compared to riflemen because you got a good machine gun at least, but it requires a lot of support using artillery, MG42s in this case, if you decide to bring IG-18s to actually make any progress happen. Scotch is pretty much the same as well. It's really coming down to using your fire support units to take the victory here. Your infantry is just here to get shot at.
Well, one thing I'm surprised we haven't seen already is we don't have the dustbin out on the map. No, we don't actually. That's really weird. It used to be that was the immediate call-in every single time and twice on Thursdays.
Yeah, I definitely would hope that we do see it later on, but I think he went for more of the Mark 5 for that longer range firepower, which is definitely helping him out quite a bit down south. Actually forced him back at Panzerjäger with just a good amount of high explosives. And there's not a whole lot of anti-tank here from Grey Fox right now. I think that's definitely going to hurt him, especially down south, as he really needs to try and kill out Churchill.
He does, but I don't know that he's going to. I mean, on paper, which is always a fun thing to say, but on paper that Panzerjäger is more than enough to actually get the kill.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his stealth is pretty terrible. Pretty shit.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure. Mm-hmm.
No, he also has the Panzer 35 coming to back him up, so... Yeah,
Yes.
Harry Spider's doing a fantastic push there down south. He's making a lot of progress. And, yeah, if that Churchill stays alive, he's going to have a good time.
And I think this is the right call, though, from Grey Fox. Bring an MG42, stopgap, throw down, say, fine, you know what, you want to get frisky, go ahead. He's going to probably put the MG42 in the tree line. That was probably my second choice. My first choice probably was try to sneak it into that factory to his northwest by 200, 400 meters.
Yep. We got a
Probably
second
would be my
Churchill.
first choice. Yeah.
Oh god, it's gonna get really nasty if Harry Spider. I was thinking that, maybe he should get like a Pack 38, it'd be risky. I mean, he has a 2-star one he can bring up at least. And then maybe you could get, lucky first shot and knock out Churchill. But when there's two of them, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen now. And he doesn't have any other good long-range AT. It's really going to come down to the Panzerjägers. It's not until B phase when he gets Stugs.
in C phase when you get those Jagdpanzers, I know, and that's really a bad way to be fighting, which was always the issue with the 332nd and 716th. You gotta wait until, insert phase here.
Yeah. And it's slow. Very, very slow. Just 'cause you don't really have that mechanized push firepower. Same thing with 15, but 15 definitely had the infantry spam to make it work.
Interestingly, though, Harry Sputter's push down to the south, while they have been exceedingly effective, to the north, he's lost an equal amount of territory.
Indeed, it is quite a good call because, yeah, Grey Fox has managed to push along the small narrow road up north here. He's managed to almost completely push Harry Spider out the factory, although those rifles are digging in quite deep here. So it's a decent trade-off for Grey Fox. I mean, he did bring it back to a 0-0 at least, so gonna relieve some pressure. And if he can completely capture the factory, it's pretty hard to lose it from their resting position. Of course, he still has the opportunity to get hit from the southern side due to Harry Spider's rather nasty push.
Jagdpanzers and Panzerjägers. Reverse that a little bit. Panzerjägers, of course, starting to come in force here down to the south. And I'm not sure if Panzerjäger is going to try to engage. Nope, he's trying to find that carrier. It's not going to happen too well for him.
Yeah.
But very, very fascinating opening from this. I'm really quite surprised that things are still as even as they are in terms of points.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Harry Spider made much more of a effective push down south, but just in terms of map territory, which is the only thing that really matters in SC44, I mean, Grey Fox has managed to even out that northern push. So it's really just a southern-northern trade-off, as you usually see in these sorts of matches. I do like how Spitfire bombed some stuff and now he's coming around to just gun things down.
Well, yeah, there's the Deuce and the 220 mils on it. I appreciate the fact that, especially if you look back on the match that we had over here on Tuesday, if you haven't seen it, you really should. I have appreciated that there was a time and place when this first launched, this game, where it was, we're going to fight for the 51-49 or the 52-48, and that was that.
Oh.
I don't see any of the players we featured so far this week being okay with that, and I always love seeing that kind of play.
Yeah, I do think the ST44 Conquest system is better than the ST2 flag system. The ST2 flag system does have a pretty good opportunity to be better. It's just the flag placement on a lot of maps is extremely silly in ST2.
Yes.
But yeah, back to this match, Joe. I mean, Grey Fox with the Panzerjägers and Panzer 35R are almost killing a Bofors gun.
And they will.
He could actually, I mean, the problem is he doesn't have the range against the Churchills, but he is forcing him back for now. And he can start regaining some of his southern territory, so he could get a nice +1 here. And up north, he still has a good defensive position, so it's starting to look quite a bit good for Grey Fox. So one of his Panzerjägers does go down to a pesky Piat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking back through the Panzerjägers. The ranges have been awful for me. So I'm trying to think about all the ranges. I'm so used to 2K, and now with the range rework, and going back to ST to the Western Front, Bocage territory and all of that. I kind of forget that Panzerjägers are among the deadlier ranges in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and easy in ST44 because it's just 1 kilometer and then 1.2 kilometer. Yeah, it's pretty much it when it comes to anti-tank. But against these Churchills, I mean, they do have just enough AT to barely penetrate them at least, which is nice. I mean, getting a good critical hit and run. But yeah, we are seeing probably a 6-pounder being brought in down south, yes, to try and ward off those Panzerjägers, which should be a pretty effective tool.
No, but I was thinking more about the idea of those Churchills only have HE.
Yep.
Which I guess was another one of those things that for the Scots has always been a bit of a tough sell, is that it's not really until you move later on into, I think it's, does Command Churchill get it, I think, over here in Phase B? I don't think so. I think it's not until C when they get committed AP kind of actual ammunition on the field.
No, the Command Churchill has AP. It's pretty much just like the support Churchills. Yeah, don't. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely opted more for just B phase tanks. He's just opted for his A phase Churchills for his armor. I mean, into being sea phase, he does have the Shermans and the Challengers also as well, so he's going to have a pretty nice armor lineup as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, but yeah, I mean, Grey Fox is actually doing pretty good. He's captured the full factory, he still has a defense up north, and I don't feel like he's going to be able to push really Harry Spider's position back, but if he can at least get where the rifle leaders are, at least, and clear out that section, that should give him a pretty good defensive position.
He holds the factory for now until you see the fact that there's a command charger. You're right. Was it? I saw at least 2 squads of flame troops. We got 2 more coming in now. I could have sworn I had seen another one being brought in. All of them arrowing in for that factory, and there are some very, very depleted, shrunken squads there. And I don't think an IG-18 is going to be enough to push him back.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, in terms of this later game, I feel like it's going to be a bit harder for Grey Fox to deal with in the armor department. I mean, he does have the Stugs, which is nice, and he has decent AT, but not a whole lot, really. So, I mean, he does have 3 Pack 40s and B-Phase, which he can take advantage of, and another Panzerjäger goes down to a bloody PR. So not a good day to be a Panzerjäger.
I'm not really sure there's too many good days to be a Panzerjäger, but I definitely take your meaning. 88 mil is on the field. I don't think it's being necessarily placed just yet. No, that's not a Flak 36, is it? Oh my gosh, that's a Flak 36.
Yeah. It's probably just trying to keep those Spitfires away, because those bombing runs have been a bit of a pain in the arse, yeah, for Grey Fox to deal with. But he's still doing pretty good, Joe. And I think that Command Churchill is definitely going to spice things up, because it's really not till C phase with the Yanked Panthers with anything that can reliably penetrate it at long range. I mean, the Stugs and the Pack 40s, which are available, are going to have a hard time dealing with the rather thick Churchill boy.
True. Stormtrooping, by the way, being brought on in. These are the PP Shaws and the MP40s over here. These guys, extremely deadly, almost to the point of having the same thing with the Tango Thessaloniki over on the eastern front. And yeesh, Assault Pioneers going the other direction as well, right in the factory. They're going to just make mincemeat out of the Osttroopen and the one Grenadier still in the factory complex.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any CQC troops here. Grey Fox is to ward off against his person. We're seeing more infantry being brought in, so Harry Spider is trying to re-gear to retake his northern section, which is what he needs to do, actually, even it back to a 0-0. So, I mean, he could bring us to a +1 and get some momentum up north, which would be rather good for Mr. Spider. You're seeing, I think, more SOS troops being brought in up north to try and deter us, or maybe infantry. I actually don't know what could be in the transports.
I was thinking Airsoft trooping.
Well, that's true. Oh, yeah. Actually, no, it would come in DMAs. I think he might just be...
Come in DMAs? Oh, no, you're right. Yep, this is stuff trooping are going to do, so you're right.
Yeah, something like that. It's annoying you can't see what the infantry... compared to ST2, you can't see what the infantry is in the transport.
You know, Western Front problems.
Yeah. There we go. Spitfire knocking out, yeah, one of the MG42s here. And with no anti-armor, I mean, it's slowly at Stuart Recce, so it's going to pick off one infantry unit after another. But the other MG42 did a really good job of pinning down that post as it tried to cross over in the open field. As in terms of infantry firepower, they don't really have enough to rout out... I was about to say light machine gun, but in that role it's technically a medium machine gun.
Mm-hmm. I should think it's a heavy machine gun. The MG42 you mean, right?
Yeah, they've, you know, just depending on what tripod it's on or bipod, it's either light or medium.
Well, well, with the S, it's Schwerig, so it's the heavy.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because it was just light or heavy, it was no medium in terms of German.
Yep.
But dude, it's only a heavy machine gun if it's 50 caliber or above, man.
Oh my gosh, I thought I could feel you pushing the glasses up your nose on that one. Oh my gosh. You know, and I thought I was the wereaboo for this game, jeez. Here we go, now we get Airsoft Trooping coming in. The Beobachter, was it, yeah, the 250, oh, the 170 mils coming in, okay, cool. So the off-map coming in here in the north, Airsoft coming in to kind of hold that factory complex, I imagine. Are they coming in right there? Yes, they are, to the northern factory complex. So we're going to see round 2 of this. As now the Scots are going to try to push in, retake the north, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see down to the south as maybe the 50 seconds that maybe sweep in and try to take something there. It ain't going to be pretty if they do, but
yeah,
it's got
I feel
potential.
like it's definitely going to be hard for Grey Fox to push down south because Harry Spider's a rather nice defensive position. I mean, at 1 6-pounder, yeah, is enough to keep anything nil. Grey Fox has his anti-tank gun and Cooper wagon still loaded. I think he's doing that on purpose. Just if he does see something move up, he's gonna unload it. But if he needs to move him to a different position, just move him up north or whatever. So I actually do like his play. Just keeping him behind the hedgerow for now and keeping him safe and secure rather than potentially being spotted by recon. But yeah, that central push is coming in, and that is just a whole lot of crap being brought into the column below his factory.
That's good because the MG42, the hero of MG42 from before, there is so much firepower that's going to be directed at him very, very quickly that I would not want to be him.
It's just like playing a D-Day match on Enlisted. Just like one MG42 holding off all the allies, and then all of a sudden, just you get shot by, or you get blown up by an airplane.
No, you know what that MG42 is? That's the one guy who's on that first.
And the rest of the team is just around, not even playing the objective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not sure what this last skit has been all about, play Enlisted, free to play. It is a surprisingly good, free to play shooter.
Yeah.
And
not bad. We've been playing it a lot. It's like legit not that bad, especially considering it's from the same publisher of War Thunder, and War Thunder is a special beast.
Yes, it is. As freemiums go, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
In the meantime, getting back to this particular IP, and the Scots have gone and taken themselves a little bit of a lead here, and I think that's been pretty much thanks to this Stuart Recce push up top. And I forgot how devilishly good these guys actually are, and Command Stewards as well. Excuse me.
Yeah, just when you have a 50 caliber machine gun and there's no one of anti-tank nearby, you can do a whole lot of damage, as you see. Almost like do a good number on that Pioneer squad, yeah. And your AG-18s, of course, you don't have heat ammunition as there's an SD2. Can't really do too much against it. Rather, rel armored, 5 frontal armor and that Command Stuart. Yeah, it's just like pretty good momentum for Harry Spider.
Also, do you feel like the Ersatz Truppen don't take the same amount of suppression that they do in SD2?
Do you think it take more or less in this game?
I think they take less.
Yeah, I'd say more tanky in this game compared to SD2. I also just think it's because there's usually... In SD2 you have so much stuff shooting you just due to the openness of the maps and the longer ranges. Well, in SD44, I mean, as much as we complain about Ersatz Truppenkhan, in SD44, they're pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, well, SD2, they're...
Not good.
No. No, they're barely even warm bodies.
Yeah.
170 mil coming in over on that western part of the factory. I don't think it's going to level most of the complex. In fact, we might even see some friendly fire here. But we are getting some impacts, and I think he's just forced a weapons jam on that Student Recce. Huh.
Yeah, not bad. Really clear out the rest of the assault pioneers, that would be the question.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he dropped a concentrated barrage, so it wasn't going to give him the same level of shells, really.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Harry Spider is doing pretty good. He's got that nice +1. He's still has a good front line. It's going to be curious whether Grey Fox can actually push back from this.
It certainly will. I mean, the rifles... we also lampoon the rifles a fair bit, and deservedly so, I'd say.
Yeah, they're pretty mediocre, but they're strength in numbers.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. There's always a certain quality found in quantity here. And the Pioneers, in this game, the biggest thing they had going for them was the, light MG42 that they got going on.
Yeah.
Man for man. Yes, please.
Pretty good at long range. And also the grenade bundles helps out too.
Yeah, but the grenade bundles, I want to say, was it 100 meters? Yeah, it's 100 meters in this game.
Which is I think that's the same range in SD2 actually. Or was 120? It's still pretty close. But even
Yeah,
then,
but
like they're like a good all-round unit because you can use Pioneers to mostly engage in most situations. They aren't the best in any situation, but they aren't the worst unless there was tanks.
well, and that's what I was gonna sort of get at is that a lot. I just think my thing here is that the 100 meters in this game feels so much more weighty because 100 meters of the maximum basically 1.2.
Yeah.
So
Also because the maps in this are so much smaller.
exactly.
Yeah, like probably like 3 times smaller compared to SD2 really, just in terms of front line. But I've seen 225-pounders being brought in from Harry Spider, bringing in quite a bit of heavy artillery, so to speak, and he is just pounding away at that little complex for the Germans to dug in. Also just using bombers as a strafe the position. He really wants to try and push like along this canal here. Well,
And
Nebelwerfer.
Nebelwerfer go the other direction. Oh man, I didn't even see those guys come in. Off map being brought on in to force a couple of surrenders here. Will he get a surrender on that tank?
That would be hilarious. No.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. He might
Oh,
die
there's a
for it,
leader
but he's
nearby.
gonna get
There's
it.
a leader nearby. It's not gonna happen.
Oh,
I know. A shame.
dos vidania, sir.
Well,
Dos vidania.
imagine being surrendered by a goddamn off-map artillery piece.
Only thing worse was being surrendered by a crusader. Somewhere there's an L6 rush waiting to happen.
Yep.
But yeah, so the push over here to retake the factory has, I would argue, completely failed.
It really has. I mean, Harry Spider definitely has the armor support here now of the Crocodile and the Command Churchill to just ward off any of Grey Fox pushes. Grey Fox just doesn't have really any AT. He's using the Panther 35s, he has a few Pak 38, but he has no infantry. He doesn't have a whole lot of infantry AT. He has a few Grenadiers and Panzerschreck teams, but he just cannot get them into position.
He does have the Jagdpanther coming into the south.
Oh,
So that's 300 freaking points of investment, and I don't know that I would have really invested there.
yeah. I feel like this is going to come down to if he loses the Jagdpanther, he just loses his chance of winning the game just due to a huge points investment. But he's going to need a lot more infantry to make his push down south happen. You know, it could work. At the same time, as a 17-pounder getting put into position, there's also a 6-pounder here as well. So, not the best position for the Jagdpanther, and he feels like he's... Is he going to push it across the road? Because he might get shot by the 17-pound. No, he's just going to keep it here, which is good. Pushing up anymore would be just suicidal.
Aha, but suicidal is his middle name.
Also a very long name.
Yeah, well, you know the Germans. They
Yeah.
jam all those words together.
Jagdpanzer von Suicidal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's his confirmation name. You're right, you're right.
But we've got a Nebra for being deployed like literally right behind him as well. So I think it's just going to try and clear out forest, but he has nothing to really follow up with this push. And also a mortar. Like, a very aggressive... Is that a mortar?
Nope, it's not
No, it's a
label.
field... No, it's a field
Is
gun. It's like one of those crappy French field cannons. No, an FK-18.
Oh, the FU-18, you're right.
FK-18, yeah. Which is small little field cannon, but there we go. The 17-pounder getting shot off here. The Jagdpanther gonna get blasted.
He's gonna get blasted, and like, all I can see right now is that Always Sunny thing, like, and then I started blasting. And I don't know. I actually don't know who could win this, because you got the little rinky-dink French tank there as well, so crew knocked out and forced to fall back. So, I mean, we'll call this one a draw.
Yeah, I could have gone much worse here for Grey Fox, all things considering. He was pretty lucky not to get blown up. But if you look in the center position, it is yet very aggressive from Harry Spider. I mean, this is the classic Scott play of just a million and run riflemen charging a position, outnumbering the Germans. He also has air supremacy as the Spitfires. I feel like this northern flank is just going to collapse.
Well, when you look at their decks and realize that one group has no infantry in the sea phase and the other one's got 24 squads, you kind of tend to think that one of them's kind of,
Oh yeah, he has no sea phase infantry for 350
which is
seconds.
weird because usually you should see that in an infantry division deck, but I guess he didn't build that way.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going for much more early aggression gameplay, but it didn't pan out well for him.
Oh, well, Stug being brought into the north. I say another Stug, but a Stug being brought into the north, and we actually have a crocodile on the field. He has used a little bit of flame, but I don't see him being too effective on that otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing about the crocodile. It's like, yeah, it's a flamethrower vehicle. You get in support. That's cool. You're really just buying it because it's like a heavy tank and support tab,
Yes.
which is the
Yes.
nice thing about it. And sometimes it does get the flames off, and you're always very happy it happens. Oh, good luck getting into that position with, like, well, yeah, 15 kilometers an hour off road.
Oh my gosh. So the 6 pounder is dead. The 17 pounder is going to get a shot here in a second, and it's from deliciously close.
Oh yeah. No recon
Now,
here to spot because he's just moving the Axe Panther without any support. I mean, he's got the 35R, but
well, guys, also an important thing to mention: your penetration goes up as they get closer,
yeah.
which sounds ridiculous to make a comment about. Tracks and wheels damaged, and that is now one of the world's heaviest pillboxes in the world. Redundancy aside.
Will the 35R come in clutch? I don't think so, Khan.
Nope.
No, and yeah, there we go, and that's... Yeah, he didn't really have much infantry to back him up. Like, if he just kept Jet Jagdpanther in a more defensive position, just used it at long-range fire support, he probably could have cleared out his sector, really, but that's not going to happen.
Well, at this point, I'm going to turn away because we may not be a family-friendly cast occasionally, but I can't show scenes like that. That's too merciless down there. So return to the north where a different kind of massacre is going on. The Nebelwerfer, a thing who should never die on the battlefield except to other artillery, gets taken out by Churchills and a crocodile. So
I think that's really just speaking to how well Harry Spider is breaking through here. He's managing to get into the enemy artillery line. And yeah, I feel like this is just gonna be a GG. Harry Spider just does not... I mean, Grey Foxes does not have the front line field units to hold his back anymore.
exactly.
We've got the Shermans now being brought in, so there's a whole lot of heavy firepower.
But no freaking AVREs. I wanted a flying dustbin, darn it.
I know. Like one of the best explosions in the game.
Exactly. I can't... We have nothing to cast for Star Wars right now, so I need to have a Death Star somewhere, and I feel really cheated the fact they didn't put it in here. Oh well. 25 pounder in the meantime, continue to get rid of those property values in the center part of the map. And Stug going down, and I would not be surprised, like you said, if we see a tap here pretty quickly. And there we go.
That is a good game, and yeah, the KD is what I would have expected.
Yeah, but let's also be fair. The Jagd Panther by itself is 300 points, so 25% of that is in one bloody vehicle. Command Churchill, though, very well done. That's one up to the north who got a couple of kills there at the end. Command Stewart carving through support teams, Crocodile carving out things pretty well. And the 17-pounder, yeah, Allerton, he killed himself 340 points of things inside of 2 units, so...
I mean, that Panda 35R was a real deadly threat that you had to deal with.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And losses here, Pack 38, 1918 doing decent, but... And a Stosh troop knocking out, like, 5 rifles, like, 5 infantry squads. That's not bad.
That was one of those guys who made the push there in that kind of middle part of the match. I want to say, like, mid-late B.
Yeah.
Jagd Panther, of course, getting himself some love as well. But all the same, I mean, well done to Harry Spider. It's nice to see that his fangs are still sharp.
Indeed. He's been playing ST44 a lot, so he's gotten very good at this game from what I know. But yeah, Grey Fox really had the disadvantage. He just couldn't get those all-important anti-armor kills. He didn't have a whole lot of reliable anti-tank in his deck, really.
Yep, indeed. Regardless, it is nice to see an old friend like ST44. I think we're probably going to be covering this a little bit more. Am I right about that?
Maybe, I have no idea yet. We'll see next week.
Oh, folks, in that case, then, to find out what we do and end up covering, you definitely got to come back. Until then, though, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Mangru, take it easy.